County, into parts of McCormick County, and even into Edgefield County. So a pretty large area here, but it's right around Dunn Chapel to the south of Leah, where we have that rotation, and also what activity here. We see a little bit of a hook there indicating where that tornado could potentially be. And let's also go on a rotation tracker here. And the green is where we're seeing that weak rotation. So it's not very strong at this time. So this is not a confirmed tornado, likely not a very big one, but nonetheless, you still need to be getting to your safe place, especially if you're around the lake here. That's where this will likely be moving off towards the northeast over the next few minutes. It's a pretty quick moving storm here. So once again, let's take a close at these roadways. Biggest road impacted here would be State Route 47 right along Dunn Chapel. So there's also a bunch of neighborhoods in here. It looks like Sue Ann Drive, Adelaide Drive, Reservoir Road. Anyone in these neighborhoods here, especially if you're in a mobile home, that's where you really want to be getting to a sturdier shelter. Notify any friends or family that could be in a mobile home in this area right around the lake. They need to be getting into that safe place. This tornado warning goes for Columbia County, Edgefield County, McCormick County until 5:45 p.m. So quite some time on this. It's only 5:07. So we'll be watching this for a while now. I'm going to keep it on this rotation here because we can see this isn't weakening anytime soon. We're seeing that red and green. Oh, actually, the latest scan just came in, and now it is looking a little more broad, I would say. Tim, would you agree that it looks a little bit better?
Certainly say that. I think that certainly is the case here, Jenna, with that. And it's, it's covering a wide area. And of course, it's also a lot of this is moving over the lake. One interesting fact here, we've had an opportunity to look at some of these damage reports. And Brad is standing by here. Brad, you have some information for us about some reported damage that's now coming to the News Channel 6.
Yeah, Adam Dye out of McDuffie County, kind enough to send this image in. And Tim and company, I'll get you all to take a look at it as well. Some pretty spectacular looking cloud activity right there taken in McDuffie County just a few moments ago. Adam Dye, thanks for taking that picture. Thanks for sending it in. And so as we take a look at that, Tim, Jenna, Sherry, I want to just ask you this. There's that huge state championship celebration for Thompson High School right now. Should our friends in McDuffie County shelter in place right now? I'm not looking at the radar. Y'all's thoughts?
No, right now it's fine. What I'm worried about is the next band of thunderstorms, Brad, that's going to be moving through here. I think that's what we're most concerned about as we look here over the next, I would say, next couple hours. This is what we're watching. This is the tornado warning. Of course, that's obviously not for McDuffie County. That's further towards
small portion of McDuffie County, but this is to the south of this tornado warning. So that only includes a portion of McDuffie, but it's the cell here that's right along the border of Edgefield and Lincoln County. That is the area where the tornado would be located. So I'd say McDuffie, you're in the clear now, but not for the rest of the night. Just for now, it's just the light rain coming in, and we'll be watching over the next couple of hours for those stronger bands coming in. So no need to shelter in place at this time if you're in McDuffie County, but definitely keep with us the rest of this night since we could have more warnings pop up.
Yeah, and that's the cell that we're watching here with in particular, Jen. And let me sneak on here for just a quick second. And as you were pointing out here, this is some great information that we're able to see here with this particular warning. And I'll show you here. So this is the area that Jenna was talking about. This heads really basically over the lake here. So I-20 you're done with, and I say, although the tornado warning certainly is for McDuffie County, but it is so far to the north of you, I'm really not worried about it. So again, yeah, as Jenna was pointing out here, no need for us to worry about that. It's the storms off towards our west that will soon be in here that I think has the potential that, again, for another bout of severe weather. And that's what we really are most concerned about at this point here. So when I show you this is our red and green. What does this mean? This means that winds are going away from the radar in the red and going towards the radar in the green. And whenever they're really close together, this is where we have the opportunity of rotation. And I don't see any couplets here that are really close together, but that still is a great indication to me that we have some damaging winds here, and certainly some gusty winds, damaging winds, wind speeds of up to maybe 60 miles per hour. We've had some gusts. Brad showed you some fascinating pictures of some of these clouds that are in some of these cells here. Some of these clouds can also look like tornadoes. They're often called what we refer to as a Scud cloud. A Scud cloud is a great mimic of a funnel cloud. It looks like a funnel cloud's coming out of the sky, but it's a Scud cloud. And then those are typically associated with severe weather, and we certainly have our fair share of severe weather. So oftentimes you may see that and think that it's a funnel cloud or a tornado, and it's a Scud cloud. And then, of course, we have the opportunity of having some tornadic activity, which we have right now. So this is our tornado warning that continues to be in effect here. You'll notice, again, the reds and the greens. And I will tell you that I don't see a whole lot of rotation here with this at this point. And again, this is our tornado warning that goes in effect until roughly here about 5:45. And this would include, again, Columbia County, southeastern Lincoln County, northwestern Edgefield County, and southeastern McCormick County. So this means that this cell here that we're talking about is moving at a very fast clip and does have the potential of rotation again. So this is something, again, we'll be watching as this moves off towards the northeast. There it is. So it's about ready to cross the river here and soon to be in McCormick County. And this means that I would say Plum Branch, you need to have eyes to the sky here as this moves in your direction. This is quickly moving off towards the northeast. There's McCormick County, McCormick itself. As this moves into McCormick County, I think it's going to scoot south of you. All right, but again, we'll have to wait and see as it moves off in generally this direction. So Liberty Hill, there's Limestone, although you're not in the warning, it's just to the west of you. So we'll have to watch this. So I would certainly say Plum Branch, yeah, heads up for you. That is headed in your direction. It's right in here where I think if we're looking at any of the possibility of rotation. So let's take a look at this real quick here. We'll go to our velocity. Right in there, and we'll do this real quick here. I can show you that. Not very impressive, except for right in here. All right, and then notice that last jump means as the cell is moving off towards the northeast. Certainly some gusty winds, maybe some damaging winds. Certainly gusty winds, no doubt. Plum Branch rotation would have it right, perhaps right in here, but I also think there could be a little bit more towards the north, even though we're not actually seeing that. I certainly think that is a possibility. Sometimes with this, you can get a false echo based on what you're looking at. So I would certainly say, Plum Branch, let's keep a watchful eye on things. And then also further down the south, there's Clarks Hill. This will pass to the north of Clarks Hill. Notice south of that, everything seems to be fine. So again, I would certainly say find out where you're at here and you're looking at the map. If you're south of that, you should be in the clear from this particular cell. All of the activity, again, is moving towards the north. Let's confirm that. Boom, there it is, right? So this is rain, maybe some of it heavy, and this is more of the heavier thunderstorm activity. And I would say into Parksville here in just a little bit as well. That's what we have to watch for that particular rotation. Again, it's on the lake, again, as it moves off towards the east, north of Clarks Hill. And I'll also tell you that it certainly is north of Winfield, north of Appling. So again, there is the warning, again, until about 5:45 this afternoon. Jenna, what are you seeing? If we had to take a look out towards this particular cell, you've got relative velocity up.
Yeah,
well, let's zoom in a little bit closer. Jenna's at the weather desk.
Yeah, so I wanted to point out some really specific locations where you need to be getting into your safe place. So as Tim mentioned, this is passing right over the lake right now. So actually, most likely over water. It's this rotation that we're watching where the red and the green are meeting there right over the water. This is headed towards Modoc subdivision. So if you're in that area, you'll need to be getting into your safe place. State Route 221 and DeSoto Road. Those are areas you need to be getting into your safe place. Tim, are we getting any reports? Jenny, have some photos to show, I believe.
We have
Tornado, is that correct? Or a funnel cloud?
We have some video we want to show you right now from Warren County. This is on Highway 80 heading toward Mayfield. Look at that cloud. And we thank so much the viewer that sent that in. Do be careful, folks, if you're able to get video for us. I mean, we appreciate it, but we certainly don't want any heroics on your part. But this, again, Warren County on Highway 80. Tremendous cloud there.
Yeah, tremendous. That was, guys, I think that's actually a tornado that we actually tracked with Live Viper 6, and we saw this. So that's a great image.
Yeah, it's impressive.
It is.
Yeah.
And we talked about scud clouds and tornadoes. That clearly is at least
Yeah,
from my
so-
Let me
idea of a
tell you this
tornado.
real quick, Jenna and Tim, and don't let me step on you. I know that you're covering
No, please.
the path of the storm. And folks, if you're not in it yet, you may be. So be patient as we take care of our other viewers here, especially in Warren County, where you're seeing that video now. The sheriff's office says a significant amount of power lines and trees down around Warren County, especially Warrenton, Georgia. Back to y'all.
Yeah, so just want to make that clear that that was the tornado warning from earlier that expired around 4:45. So if you're into Warren County now, you are good. We're not seeing that rotation anymore. No tornado warning for you. But it's that same storm system that has now tracked to the northeast in this red polygon here that we're watching, including Lincoln, Columbia, Edgefield, and parts of McCormick County. So that tornado warning we were seeing, that tornado we were seeing, could likely be into this area now, which is right around the lake. So if you're in Warren County, you're in the clear. You can exit your safe place, at least for the next couple of hours, but we will have more storms coming in. But it's right now where we're watching this rotation. It's over Modoc subdivision. So Forest Drive, Gordon Drive. This is right around the border of, I believe, let's see here, Edgefield, Columbia, and McCormick County. So we're kind of in between a few different counties here, right along the lake. So if you have any friends in mobile homes, I'm sure there's a few of those around the lake. Please notify them to get to a sturdy shelter. Definitely invite any friends and family you may have that's in a mobile home to get into your home where you may have a safer spot. So you want to go to that interior room away from windows. Definitely go somewhere that is on the lowest level. A bathtub would be a great place, somewhere to protect your head as well. You want to put your hands over your head or put a helmet on your head. So as we saw in that video that we just had, that was a tornado that we were seeing. So it'll likely become confirmed. And that was in Warren County earlier, likely now the area that we're watching right around Modoc subdivision, State Route 33 221. That's where we have that rotation with the red and the green coming together here. And we can also see it on our shear tracker. Not only are we just seeing the green, we're also seeing some red, and that indicates some stronger rotation now. So it is looking more and more likely that this could be an actual confirmed tornado. Another thing we look at is our debris detector. This is called the CC, and we look for anything that's not red. So right now we're seeing a lot of reds, orange, and yellow, so not indicating a whole lot of debris being lofted. But if we start to see anything that's green or blue, that's when we'll have a better idea that this could be a confirmed tornado. Yeah. And just wanted to also check in with that hail path. We're not seeing any hail at this time.
I was going to say, yeah,
just
a great idea. Yeah, to check on the hail path. So there's no hail here with this. This is mostly certainly a wind event. I want to come back, if we can, to the green screen just a moment. I'll show you this. This is our tornado watch now that has been extended until 10 p.m. So all the counties shaded here in red. This is a tornado watch, which means that conditions are favorable for the development of tornadoes, and those conditions are pretty ripe today, no doubt. Hence, that's why we've been in a 5 or 6 alert day. So this now is extended for Richmond, Burke, Barnwell, Aiken, Saluda, Edgefield counties until 10 p.m. There's McCormick, Lincoln. So this all makes a whole lot of sense. So I want to show you this as we go to the next frame here. And what's interesting about this is that when we talk about this tornado watch, this has been, it's extended a little bit later than I actually thought it would be, oddly enough. So I want to go to this, and I'll show you. This is a current look at radar. And this shows certainly a severe thunderstorm warning that continues in effect for counties of Talbot County for, I would say, another, well, actually until 6 o'clock. This is the line of storms that we're watching that's moving in from the west, all right? And you'll notice here, as we get towards this area here, let me come right back to the screen. I want to show you this. This is how this bows out like that. So, I mean, there's Talbot County. You've got this until 6 o'clock tonight. It's this cell about ready to enter to the western part of the county, and it's this area here that's also bowing out that I'm concerned about. Any type of bowing activity continues to indicate certainly some gusty winds and some strong winds, and that wind speeds of about 60 miles per hour or so. Jen, let's go back to this relative velocity. I want you to take this. This is our tornado warning that's continuing in effect, and I believe we certainly have, clearly to me, it looks like a little bit of rotation here.
Yeah, and I wanted to point out it's specifically Modoc Shores community where we're watching, of lakefront community near the Modoc area, U.S. Highway 221. That's where this could this tornado would likely be located if it does become confirmed. And I am thinking this will end up becoming a confirmed tornado or at least a funnel cloud. So definitely something to take very seriously if you are in Modoc Shores community right along the lake. So this tornado warning the rotation we were watching just passed over the lake. Now it looks like it's moving on land right over the Modoc area where the red and green are meeting there. State Highway 23, that's where we're watching for the most rotation, where this would likely be located. And we can see it here where we're seeing the green color. That's where the rotation is located. So Highway 221, Modoc Shores community, actually looks like it's most likely past you now. Here's our latest scan that just came in. So this is to the east of Highway 221 now along State Highway 223. Let's go back to our rotation here. Looks like it may be getting a little bit more broad. We're not seeing the red and green meeting as closely together as they were just a moment ago, but definitely seeing some of that weak rotation at least. So State Highway 23, let's look at some of these communities here. Definitely looks like a pretty wooded area. I do think there could definitely be some mobile homes in here though. So once again, you want to notify any friends or family that may be in a mobile home to get to a sturdier shelter. There are some communities around here along these roads that you'll want to be getting into your safe place. But specifically around State Highway 23, doesn't look like a whole lot of neighborhoods in this area. This is now past the Modoc Shores community, and it's moving further into Edgefield County and into McCormick County a little bit. It does look like it's right along the border of McCormick and Edgefield County where we're seeing that strongest rotation here. So now it is past Clarks Hill Lake. That is now moving further towards the east, more so overland. And if Tim, you want to take over now and point out a few more
Jenna,
things.
I want to give a heads up, and Jenny pointed this out as well. Those in McCormick County, there's Savannah Lakes retirement community. And again, we're keeping an eye on this storm. That's a huge retirement community, and I want to make sure that those that are there, this is very important. And I know a lot of folks that certainly watch us in McCormick County. It's you are a blessing to us, and it's wonderful to have you with us. But I want to give you a heads up to be extra caution. I know there's a lot of folks that are watching that may be in that retirement area. Certainly the folks that work there. Sort of a heads up for this particular cell as it continues to move off towards the northeast. So this is the area that we're watching with. It certainly has the potential for rotation. So I'm not saying that that's where the storm is headed to, but just for the heads up, generally speaking, this will be a pretty strong wind event regardless for McCormick County. So a heads up, once again, Savannah Lakes retirement community. All right, Jenny pointed that out. That's an area that a lot of our viewers are in, and I want to make sure that you're safe. All right, I don't want you to be nervous or scared. That's no need for that. I just want you to be safe. You know what to do when these storms present themselves, and that's what we have to watch.
Hey, Tim.
Coming up this point. Yes, Brent?
Let me ask you this along those lines. You said it a few minutes ago, but it certainly bears repeating, especially for those retirees. I'm getting reports from longtime NewsChannel 6 employee Mike Ludwikowski. He's in touch with some of his friends in the Savannah Lakes, Modoc Shores communities, and they are sheltering in place. They're taking your advice. Go back to what you said earlier, though, about throw vanity to the side, get in the bathtub, turn the TV up in the other room so we can hear your advice and your guidance. But if I'm staring out my window right now and it's dark and it's windy and I'm scared, what do you do?
Yeah, well, you know what, Brent, that's a great question because, not every dark cloud, every dark cloud is a silver lining. Every dark cloud is not a tornado. But when you're dealing with this, right, you're dealing with dark clouds and winds, I mean, where does the mind go? Automatically thinking there is a tornado. So, frankly, to ease, trust me, for someone who has a lot of nerves, I'm with you on that. So what do? Let's go into the safe area. Well, why not? I mean, what do we have to lose, right? There's no vanity here with this. Let's go into the safe. What's a safe area? Well, let's go to the bathroom. Let's go into the bathtub, right? Yeah, that's the safest place to be. If you've ever noticed during tornadic storms, it's horrible to say, and Brent, Jenny, we've seen this over all the decades. What seems to be the room that seems to have at least the least amount of damage, or that's in place, right? It's the bathrooms, and a lot of that has a lot to do with the plumbing, how it's tied to the ground, and all of that. So it has an air of stability. So that's why I would say, look, if you feel nervous about something, even the winds are gusty, go into the bathtub. Put a towel over your head. Brad's right. Turn the TV up, or if you have, you can get us online and watch us online with your phone. Take us in there. That's not a problem at all. So that's a great question, and that's exactly what we need to see when we're talking about this. So this is sort of a loop here to give you an idea of where this storm is going, where it's headed. Now, I will tell you, it's losing intensity. Regardless, I don't care, but it's losing intensity here from everything that I noticed. I noticed you have these darker cells, right, and then boom, as it crosses the river into McCormick County, it is sort of losing its punch here, as we expect it to. These storms will have some intensity and, in essence, just wear themselves out. And that's basically what I think this cell is happening here. With that being said, we still want to take this with all precautions necessary with that. All right, that's the most important thing. And I want to, right now, Jen, I want to go back to you on this, and let's take a look at this. We're also watching a number of severe thunderstorm warnings popping off towards our west. And I also want you to be able to, if you can, in just a moment when you're done, let's see if we can get back on this tracker so we can zoom in with these relative velocities here.
Yeah, Tim, so these severe thunderstorm warnings are actually now entered into the CSRA. We have a couple new warnings that popped up. One of them is for Tolliver County. That goes until 6 o'clock tonight. The cell that we're watching hasn't quite reached you yet. It's just outside of our viewing area, but it is headed towards Tolliver County. Also, Hancock County included in a secondary warning that also goes until 6 o'clock. So we're seeing these two severe thunderstorm warning polygons in the yellow. That is for just a portion of Tolliver and Hancock County. It does look like it includes around half of downtown Crawfordville, and same story down here in Sparta. It includes downtown Sparta along Highway 16. If you're in Culverton, you're just outside of it, but it will likely be extended. And it's these severe thunderstorm warnings that we need to watch for the rotation that could potentially become tornado warned later on. So definitely something to take seriously. Not looking too bad right now. I want to switch over to our Atlanta radar so you can get a better look at why this is a severe thunderstorm warning, though. You can see how gusty it is. We're looking at that line moving in to Tolliver and Hancock County, where that's where the 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts are. So severe thunderstorm warnings for you guys over there until 6 o'clock, but we're definitely going to spend the majority of our time here talking about the tornado warning. This still goes until 5:45, so around 20 more minutes left on this. It does still include Lincolnton and Columbia County, but I'd say you guys are in the clear now. It's this area of red and yellow that we're watching, and that's on the border of McCormick and Edgefield County. So if you are around the Clarks Hill Lake area, Modoc, you can now get out of that safe place. Definitely still keep us on though, since we could have more warnings pop up, but it's Edgefield now over Brunson Crossroads. Here's a look at some of these roads as well. Martintown Road, you are included in this. State Highway 283, that's where we most likely have a tornado possible. Miller's Crossroads as well. Looks like it's actually a little bit to the south of Highway 283. So Key Road, that's where we're seeing some of the rotation. State Highway 19, you'll need to be getting into your safe place if you're anywhere around the communities here. New Cut Road, Blair Road, this is where we're seeing that rotation. Red and green are meeting, so it's still pretty broad rotation. I don't believe we have any debris indicated at this time. What actually looks like we may have some debris outside. I believe that wouldn't be debris. What would you say, Tim, there?
No, I wouldn't say, no, I would, yeah, that's, there certainly could be a little bit, a skosh, if you will, but I wouldn't say a whole lot.
Looks like the new scan just came out, and that's now no longer
gone,
there.
yeah.
So it's the blue and the green that we're watching that could show debris lofted into the air from a confirmed tornado. And it does look like this tornado warning was now dropped for Columbia and Lincoln County. So that's kind of what I was just talking about. You guys are in the clear now. It's just a portion of Edgefield and McCormick County where we have that velocity, and it is becoming more broad, so it's not as clear here, but it is right around New Cut Road, State Highway South 19, headed towards Johnson Crossroads and Martintown Road. We're looking where this red and green area come together here, where that rotation most likely is, and also we can see it here on our rotation tracker. It's the green color representing some of that weak rotation, and I believe there is no hail at this time. We're not indicating any of that, just the very very gusty winds and the possible tornado.
Yeah, that's true. And let's go back to the green screen, guys, for just a minute here. And it's this area that we're watching. Again, there's our tornado warning that you see flashing. And this would really be the sliver of McCormick County and then Edgefield counties. This is racing off towards the northeast. So I would say the western part of Saluda County, you're next here with this cell. But I will tell you that I think it will lose a lot of its punch by the time it gets to you. This will be the western part of Saluda County. You'll notice we're still dealing with these severe thunderstorm warnings. This is the activity that's moving in our direction here, again from the west. This will be another batch of storms that'll move through. And once that moves through, that's it. All right, so once we're done with the second band of thunderstorms tonight, after that, I promise you this will be it. There'll be no severe thunderstorms overnight. None. It will be done with. I will show you, notice we have reported some hail here, and that would be near Lincoln and sort of, well, really between almost on the corner there, really, if you will, of Wilkes, Lincoln, Columbia, and McDuffie County. You also have this little damage icon near Thompson, and we saw the video of some tornado damage earlier. Do we still is that video up again? If you're just joining us, is there a way for us to maybe take a look at that tornado that we saw in Warrenton? There it is. This is near Mayfield in Warren County, and that is a decent-sized tornado on the ground. And Brad and Jenny were reporting there are some reports of numerous power lines down. Is that correct, y'all?
Power lines and trees in Warren County. That's where we've gotten the bulk of our damage reports so far. And so to recap, yeah, Warren County, Warrenton, Georgia, y'all got hit hard. But the parts of Modoc Shores and Savannah Lakes that you mentioned, no reports of any damage from there yet. Tim, it's starting to feel more like a South Carolina event at this point. Is that overstating it?
No, I would certainly say for the cell that we saw that was, which involved the tornado warning for McDuffie, Columbia, and Lincoln County, that is now moving out of our area, then moving into an Edgefield, Saluda County area as well. That's with that cell. But then you talked, Brad, of the more cells that we were talking about off towards the west. And that's the activity that's headed our way, that we have that another bout of thunderstorms that are moving on through. That's a pretty impressive view. And again, taking a video of that from a distance, I'm okay with it. But again, take it and then head for shelter.
Definitely.
Right, because you never know how these storms are erratic. And when we talk about these tornadic storms, right, there's no rhyme or reason to the way they go or what they do. They don't follow a path. They have no, concept of time and space other than causing their destruction. So if you're able to take something, fine, but most importantly, be safe. I'd rather you be safe than having any type of video activity, right? So I want to zoom in here a little bit closer. This is the area that we currently have our tornado warning now. This is McCormick and Edgefield counties. Again, and this will go to about 5:45. I want to zoom in a little bit closer. There it is. And I want to show you this. Let's get to our velocity here. Again, not a whole lot in regards to the ability for us to be able to see a lot of rotation of this. So I think a lot of this actually may be, I don't want to say done with, but certainly the possibility. Yeah, that's not very impressive. There's Antioch, give you an idea where this is at. West Shore Crossroads, some of the other fine tunes. The nice thing about Viper 6 that it can go street level. And that's exactly what it does. I can show you exactly your street, what's happening, and exactly where this thing is going. So as this moves off towards the northeast, there's Edgefield. Edgefield, you're the western part of town, in on that tornado warning. But my feeling is a lot of this, which this would be our area for rotation, and frankly, it doesn't look very impressive anymore, is moving off towards the northeast. All right, so I'm not going to rule it out by any means, but it's not impressing me for this to be something major. All right, but still, nonetheless, whenever we're dealing with a severe thunderstorm, the possibility of this still refiring up certainly is a possibility, but I'm not really seeing that here with this particular cell as we continue to move off towards the northeast. I'll zoom in a little bit closer there, give you an idea here of where this storm is moving. Again, the street level here, let me pull off here. I'll show you where we're at. What I want to stress here with this, and let me get to a broader perspective here real quick, is the fact that this is only the beginning here of these thunderstorms. We are seeing a lot more activity off towards the west. So there's the tornado warning. And I will tell you that they've issued another tornado warning here, Jenna, for this area here. And this would be, let me pull out here, go ahead and clear all this out. This would be our new tornado warning. This would be for the northern part of Edgefield County. This is until 6:15. And I'd also say that this goes even further up towards the north as we get into Saluda County. So this does include Saluda County. So there may be expecting, although I didn't see much in a positive rotation here with that, this may regenerate. Because as we look through our velocity measure, that really wasn't that impressive with this particular cell.
Let me read some information out for this new tornado warning.
What is the National Weather Service issuing with this as far as its direction and path?
It is moving north, or it's moving, let's see here, moving northeast at 40 miles per hour, but it's located to the north of Belvedere, 7 miles west of Edgefield. This is until 6:15 p.m., and it includes northern Edgefield County, Saluda County, and east central McCormick County, once again until 6:15 p.m. Severe thunderstorm warning capable of producing a tornado was indicated here. So definitely seeing some rotation here as it's moving northeast at 40 miles per hour, further into Edgefield County, and this will be a problem for Saluda County shortly. So if you're in Saluda County, go ahead and get to that safe place. If you're in McCormick County, I'd say this is now past you. So this is just an issue for northeastern Edgefield County, and we'll soon be moving into Saluda.
And Savannah Lakes, you are in the clear. Our Savannah Lakes retirement community, you're in the clear. So I don't want you to worry about anything else. That storm is past. Now, we'll tell you, there's more storms off towards the west. All right, so we're going to watch those as they move off towards the east. So, the possibility of this continuing to have rotation, certainly, obviously, the Weather Service sees it to where they've gone ahead and issued that tornado warning that now is in for Saluda County. So this is in for Saluda County for a little while longer. This cell, again, moving off towards the northeast. I want to take another look here as we take a look at velocity. And what is velocity exactly? Velocity is able to tell us exactly what we're looking at when we're looking at wind speeds. So whenever we see that, we can tell whether there's, and again, it's right in here. Notice you don't have any green here. This is all red. This means that winds are moving away from the radar. Whenever we see green and red together, and they're really close together where they basically butt up against each other, that's called a couplet. And that means that's when we can really start to see rotation, because then we see red, green, indication winds moving away from the radar and towards the radar. So when we see that together, that's how we can detect rotation. And here's our tornado warning. I don't see any. That doesn't mean that can't happen. A lot of these sometimes can be caught in the atmosphere and then whoosh, rotate down, and then you have yourself a tornado. So I'm not going to rule it out, but notice as we scan here, I don't see any green with this. So again, I don't see any green. This is all moving away from the radar. So with that being said, these could generate with the spin in the atmosphere, right? That's, the atmosphere basically tilts. So in other words, if you had like a Coke bottle, for example, right? You take a Coke bottle and you empty it upside down. Notice how it just sort of blub, 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 comes down slowly. But if you tilt it a little bit, right? Your Coke bottle, you tilt, you notice how faster the liquid comes out of the Coke bottle, right? That's because you're able to get air inside the Coke bottle that then helps rush everything down. The atmosphere works exactly the same way. Whenever there's like a tilt in the atmosphere, this allows winds to rush up into the storm and create a rotation. And then in the atmosphere, we also have what we call that rotation then produces then a cell that can then form a funnel cloud, hence a tornado, which is what we saw in Warrenton to south in Warren County earlier with that incredible video. So here we are with this. We'll go back to this. So once again, we're watching our tornado warning now that's been extended for, I would say, eastern Edgefield County, then into Saluda County. It's this particular cell right in here as this is moving off towards the northeast. There is Highway 25. Again, that's moving off towards the northeast at about, I would say 35 miles per hour or so. Again, it's not very impressive looking, but that doesn't mean anything, especially when you're talking about the possibility of a tornado. Again, these can be caught up, higher in the atmosphere and then just sort of, push themselves down. And that's what I'm afraid this particular cell may be here. So I want to get to this again and see if we can see any difference. Don't see any difference. I would say that would be right in here would be our rotation. There's Limestone, so this would be south of Limestone as this is moving off towards the northeast. So I would say there's Fruit Hill, there's Saluda. Notice there's Ward, there's Johnson, so this will be just to the west of Johnson as this moves off towards the northeast. So it's making a beeline for Saluda. All right, so this is the cell that we had the tornado warning earlier. That was the tornado warning for McDuffie County, Columbia County, Wilkes and Lincoln County. It's now moving off towards the northeast and soon to be into a Saluda County and I would say northeastern Edgefield County line, again, over the next little bit here. So we're also dealing with severe thunderstorm warnings as well. So we'll go to our reflectivity, which actually shows the cells. Notice these dark purples here. So we didn't see any in velocity, we didn't see any winds where there's perhaps rotation. But again, like I said, that doesn't mean anything. That certainly could have a little bit of rotation maybe in the upper atmosphere before it's able to come down to the surface or to a point to where Viper 6 can actually see the rotation. Sometimes these can overshoot or undershoot, if you will, the signal and the view of this thing. So with that being said, there may be something indeed there, hence that's why they've issued that tornado warning that continues for Saluda County off towards the northeast. So again, this is Highway 25, there's Highway 378. A lot of this, of course, is our great farmland in parts of the CSRA, the northern part of our viewing area, where I know many peach farmers that have many peach farms in this particular location. So heads up for y'all. Make sure that you're watching tonight and you want to head to safety. If you have any livestock that's out, make sure we have them in safe quarters as well. Again, as this cell moves off towards the northeast at about 35 miles per hour, wind speeds of 65 miles per hour in this cell. We've also had some pretty heavy rain. Rotation tracker, Jen, are you seeing anything on this? I'm not seeing anything in particular.
Yeah, Tim, I was just going to say the same thing. I've been looking at the rotation over here in the weather center, and it is starting to weaken with every scan. We're seeing less and less rotation. So I'd go ahead and say with this tornado warning that expires at 5:45, which is just in 4 minutes, that one's pretty much done with. So we don't have to worry about that anymore for southwestern Edgefield County and part of McCormick County. But this other area for Saluda County until 6:15, that will likely get expired earlier than later as well, since this is really the only area of concern here, right around Highway 25. That's where we're seeing some weak rotation, and also on our storm relative velocity, it's really not looking as impressive. So all afternoon we've been looking where the green and the red come together, and that's not what we're seeing anymore. We're really just seeing some darker reds with lighter reds, so that indicates some very weak rotation, but nonetheless still get in your safe place if you're around Highway 25, any of those surrounding communities. You'll want to get to the lowest level of your house or a basement, somewhere in an interior room away from windows, of course. So I just want to zoom in on some of these communities right around that weak rotation here. You'll want to, it looks like we're not able to see any specific street name. Oh, here we go. Elmwood Road. That's where you would want to be getting into your safe place. Once again, anywhere along Highway 25 in Edgefield County. And this tornado warning does include, looks like almost all of Saluda County, but as Tim was mentioning, it is starting to weaken further and further. So it looks like, fortunately, it may not be as big of an issue for Saluda County as it was earlier in the day for some of the other counties. So that's definitely some very good news. But once again, it's where we're seeing the darker red and the lighter red come together in any of these neighborhoods here. Definitely looks like a pretty unpopulated area, but Elmwood Road is in here, State Highway South 19, red and the dark red and the light red coming together. And once again, we can see this on our shear tracker as well, just some very weak rotation. So definitely not looking as significant as it was earlier. Looks like this is starting to weaken, but still get into your safe place if you are anywhere from northeastern Edgefield County into Saluda County. This tornado warning goes until 6:15 p.m. The tornado warning to the south of that is expiring now, so no issue there. We have some bands of heavy rain headed towards Richmond County now over Columbia and McDuffie County, but so far, so good. Doesn't look like any rotation over there. And then with this line, over in our western line counties, that's where we just have the 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. So just severe thunderstorm warnings over here that go until 6 o'clock. So around 15 more minutes left for Tolliver and Hancock County. Let's check to see if there's any hail in here as well. Definitely looks like some penny-sized hail, I'd say, definitely on the smaller side, but that would be right around Hancock County, just to the west of Sparta. So definitely get into your safe place over here as well. Even though it's not a tornado warning storm, it's definitely best to be inside when there's hail and gusty winds around. Those winds could take down trees or power lines, so definitely still something to take seriously, but it does look like just some very broad rotation. So I'd say it looks like this is mostly just a wind and small hail event for Tolliver and Hancock County. Likely won't become tornado warned, at least for now. So going back to that tornado warning over in Edgefield, headed towards Saluda County. Let's just do one more update here on the storm relative velocity, and I'm really not seeing anything too significant here, Tim. If you want to take over there, it just looks like some very broad rotation. So I'd say it's weakening as it crosses the border into Saluda County.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's something, Jenna, we'll have to keep a watchful eye on for sure. But again, I just don't see much rotation in that. They may cancel that, but nonetheless, until that's canceled, Saluda County, you're under a tornado warning, all right, until 6:15. So I want you to think that, okay, yeah, I don't see a lot of rotation in that, but I want you to be safe. I want you to throw that out the window and say, okay, here's the tornado warning until this is passed, right? If it's totally passed, then I'll say it's totally passed. Nothing to worry about it. This will be done with. But let's wait for this to get through yet. Even though I'm not seeing rotation, Jenna showed the velocity here where we look at winds coming to and from the radar, not seeing anything. So again, but still, I want you to keep that mindset. Sparta, you are next here on a line of pretty strong storms. This will be your second round. Am I feeling that once you're done with this, that should be it? I don't see anything towards the west here as we move forward. In fact, I'll show you here. Notice, boom. Once we're done with this, this is rain. That's the end. So Sparta, you've got this to deal with here. And then there's our severe thunderstorm warning, Warren County. Again, remember I said you'd have round two. Round two is just about ready to head your way here in short order. So all these are severe thunderstorm warnings. And I will tell you this. Let's go further down towards the south.
Severe thunderstorm warnings issued.
You sure have. This is in for Wilkes County. So Washington, Tignall, you have yourself a decent cell about ready to head your way here in a little bit. So there's a severe thunderstorm warning for you for parts of Wilkes County. We also have Warren County. I would say basically a line here from just to the west of Tignall all the way down further towards the south. Crawfordville, you're in on this as well. You have a severe thunderstorm warning. This is again until 6:15. The newest one, again, from Wilkes County, then there's Warren County, all the way till about 6:30 tonight.
Yeah, Tim, I've got some information on those
as well. Yes.
On those warnings, if you want me to read that real quick. The Weather Service issued this until 6:30. Once again, it's for Warren County, southeastern or northeastern Hancock County, Glasscock, Tolliver, and Wilkes County. So a very large area here, and that's from that line. Let's go back to our reflectivity here. It's this line that's from Wilkes down to the Sparta area. So the good news is that it doesn't look like this is indicating any rotation, at least at this time. I want to go back to verify that, but it is looking like we don't have much concern when it comes to being tornado warned, not seeing any shear as well. So it's really just the gusty winds here, 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. I don't even believe there's any hail within this new tornado or severe thunderstorm warning. So it's really just windy outside, but definitely something to still take seriously. Get off the roadways. If you're about to leave work, I would just go ahead and stay in shelter for now, because these wind gusts are very strong and they could take down some trees and some power lines as well. So definitely not a good idea to be traveling along I-20 right now. This storm was indicated at 5:45 from Raleigh to Springfield near Sparta, moving east at 45 miles per hour. So this is moving further into Wilkes County. This will be headed towards Warren County. McDuffie County, you were just outside of this warning, but I do think there's a pretty good chance it could be extended further into the east with you as well. But right now, just the wind gusts, so not seeing any rotation at this time. It's just that tornado warning we have up in Edgefield and Saluda County where we're seeing some of that rotation, but looking very, very weak at this time. I'm not really seeing any major concerns here, but still get into your safe place. This could definitely still be a weak tornado, and we'll definitely let you know if it ends up being confirmed. So if you're around Meeting Street Road in Edgefield County, or if you're anywhere along that western border of Saluda County, go ahead and get into that safe place. Any of these communities here where we're seeing the dark red and the light red come together. Once again, Meeting Street Road, Thompson, Tompkins Crossroads, State Highway 1921, Cedar Hollow Road, Jimmy Road. Any of these areas, you'll want to be getting into a sturdy shelter or the lowest level of your house or a basement, since we could still have a weak tornado moving into this area.
Yeah, that's true. And again, there's a very, very weak rotation at this point, Jen. And we'll come back here to the map, and I'll show you back to the screen. We have a reporter that's with us. And look at this line here. So from Tignall into Sparta, this is the line that's moving off towards the east. So I would certainly say, Thompson, heads up for you. Let's go into Thompson right now. We have a News Channel 6 reporter into Thompson, which is covering the rain and the wind. And I know some big events going on in Thompson, and on the cusp is yet another bout of thunderstorms. I would say probably about 25, 30 minutes away.
Yeah, guys, I'm here in Thompson Depot, where there was supposed to be a big celebration for the Thompson High School football team who won the state championship, but unfortunately that had to be canceled. As you can see behind me, it's pretty gross outside. The rain started coming down really hard. There was thunderstorms, and there was lots of warnings about tornadoes in the area. There's currently a tornado somewhere to the east of us. The rain has slowed down a little bit, as has the wind. The wind is not as bad as it was, but they have still cleared out all of the students and all of the people in this area. So this celebration for now has been canceled due to this dangerous weather that we're having behind me.
All right, Kira, so once again, so that is so do I understand right? I'm multitasking here. That the event's been canceled, is that right, Danielle? All right, so the event in Thompson has been canceled tonight. I know that's disappointing, but y'all, I'd rather it be canceled than to have to deal with this and everybody worried and everything going on. So let's be safe than sorry. All right, that's all we care about is that you and your family are safe. Anything else we can postpone, we can redo, get ourselves together, be able to do that. Once this line's through, that's it. I don't see anything else to the west of this. So I think once we're done with this menagerie of storms here, that's about it. In the meantime, though, we're dealing with this severe thunderstorm warning that continues. But I want to take us right now, if we can here, into Saluda County. So this is Saluda. This is where our tornado warning is in effect. There's the border of Newberry County. There's Edgefield County. Edgefield, I think you're out of the woods here with this. I really don't see any issue there. But I want to come in here into Saluda County. Zoom in a little bit closer here. This gets a little bit on the finicky side after a while. And we'll zoom in here into Saluda County, and I'll show you this. This is the cell here. So there is Saluda itself. There's Fruit Hill. Give you an idea where this is at with all of this. And let's see if we can have an idea here of, we look at velocity. What we want to look at here is find out where the winds are going. All right, so and are they going to and from the radar? Let's take a look. As we do that, I don't see much rotation here with this. So again, what is rotation? What are we looking? When I say that, what are we looking for here with this? Notice we have a lot of red. If there was red and green close together, that means red is going away from the radar. Green means go. It's going towards the radar. So when these red and green areas come together, they're called couplets, and that gives an indication of winds that are spinning in the atmosphere, right? Because you've got a red and you've got a green. And when they're like this, you get the idea here, red, green, red, green. Don't see any of that. Don't see any of that. That doesn't necessarily mean that there's not rotation. There could be rotation perhaps in the atmosphere that the radar is basically overshooting. Typically doesn't. It typically grabs it, especially in our viewing areas. I mean, Saluda, it's our viewing area. Again, but I'm not seeing that. With that being said, I still think there's an opportunity of some rotation with this. So let's go ahead and still, even though the tornado warning is going on here for a little while longer, another 20 minutes or so and change, I still want us to think that, okay, that's a possibility. So let's be in our safe places. Jenna was, amply pointing out here. So there is Saluda. We'll look at reflectivity. So reflectivity shows all the rain. This is pretty heavy rain. It's looking like it's losing a lot of steam here as it moves off towards the northeast. So that's a good thing. They may cancel the tornado warning. We'll have to wait and see. But I'm not seeing a bunch of rotation here with this. So for that part, I'm certainly happy about. I'll zoom in a little bit closer. Yeah, there it is. I mean, so we're looking fairly good at this point. I don't really foresee that to be pretty much any issues. But nonetheless, let's see if we can get to some. Again, all of that's red as well. So with that being said, again, I'm not seeing a whole bunch of rotation. I want to pull out here and show one quick thing here, and that is these storms that are off towards the east. or I'm sorry, the west. Notice not a whole lot of rotation of those, but there certainly is the opportunity of some severe thunderstorms. And I think that's the key that we're going to watch here over the next little bit. Notice as we get into Crawfordville and then south towards down to Gibson. Sparta, you've just had yourself a decent opportunity of some heavy thunderstorms that rolled on through. Notice there's another tornado warning. That's for Lawrence County, well to the north into South Carolina. That, of course, is out of our viewing area as well. So I'm not really worried about that particular cell. Jenna, what are you seeing in your view? Notice Tigdale to Washington, very heavy rain, some gusty winds. It's also just down to the east of Crawfordville and just to the east of Sparta. That is racing, though, off towards the east at about 35 miles per hour, east-northeast.
Well, Tim, I was going to see if we could pull up some of those pictures we've got sent in. We've had a lot of viewer pictures of different possible tornadoes. We don't have any official reports yet from the Weather Service, but there's a look. Thompson, Georgia, definitely seeing a potential tornado over there. It's a little bit hard to see, of course, with the trees and the buildings in the background, but you can definitely see at the very least some very stormy shots there over in Thompson. I know Tim was talking earlier about Scud clouds, so sometimes those could get confusing and look like tornadoes, and you can definitely see that on the left side of that photo right over the building. That would just be a Scud cloud, but right over the trees in that building sign there is where a tornado could possibly be reaching the ground. So once again, this isn't confirmed, but nonetheless definitely a very scary view over there in Thompson. So thank you to everyone that's been sending in photos. That's very helpful, but of course also keep a distance from these storms. If you see it and you're right there, snap a picture, but then get to your safe place immediately and make sure you don't drive on any of these roadways where it's headed towards. So let's go back to our live Viper 6 right now. It looks like that tornado warning was just dropped for Saluda County.
Yeah.
So
as I knew it would be,
yeah.
there's absolutely no reason for that to have that on anymore. So that certainly is good news, Jenna. So that's we didn't see any rotation in that. We can't drop these warnings, right? I mean, we can't. Right. We're not able to do that. These watches or warnings, but nonetheless,
yeah. So
that is fantastic. Still dealing with a lot of severe thunderstorm warnings, as Jenna showed just a minute ago. So this is the cell done. So Saluda, you're okay. No more worries. Don't worry about any more tornado activity from that cell. We are going to have to watch this as this marches off towards the east. I will tell you, this may lose some of its punch as it marches off towards the east. So let's continue to watch this and be done with it. Jenna, let's do this. It's 5:56 is our time. Let's take a timeout. We're going to regroup here, get set for News Channel 6 at 6. We'll have a lot more on the coverage of these storms tonight with Jenna. Also, Sherry Sheely's here. She's doing a lot of stuff on Facebook here, answering some of your questions, and we have reporters out in the field covering the damage. And thank you for all the pictures you've sent us and all the information you've sent to us. You are just a vital part of our family, and we're proud to be a part of your family. So let's take a time out here. We'll regroup. We'll be back with the news coming up at 6. Stay with us.